Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, as the case may be here in South Georgia. I'm your humble host, Mr. Dave Null, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers, and I greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite creator. And I continue to pray that each and every day, that each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many blessings out there in the universe. So, with that said, I hope this video finds you all doing as well as possible under them circumstances. And so this is a subject that was kind of dropped in my lap, so to speak, and um, something that I do need to speak on. Hey, Witch Moon and Michelle. Um, in that it seems like there is I'm going to use the term new. It's not new. Okay. But there's a new religion going on around and out there, and it's demonology. And sort of and not just a little bit of Wiccan stuff, but some sure enough witchcraft things where things have to be killed and sacrificed. And the whole idea that you have to sacrifice something. Now, going to have a discussion about, hey, Chloe, in that, you know, there are similarities to what traditional types of things that Christians do. And there are similarities to what demonologists, and I don't like to use the word Satanist. We're going to leave that one out of there, but to me, they're kind of sort of the same. They're similar. So, but demonology is more where I want to go with this because a Satanist, it's just a Satan thing. But anyway, but demonology is the study of different demons and how they react or interact with the universe or whatever. But if you're a Christian, especially if you're a Catholic, there are saints galore. There's Saint Peter, there's Saint Paul, there's Saint Andrew, there's Saint Timothy, there's Saint Judas. There's a bunch of them. There's Saint Paul II, there's Saint Paul III, there's Paul of Arimathea or whoever. So, but anyway, Saint Mark, Luke, and John. Let's not forget them. So, but the idea though that there are the worship of these things and the sacrifice to them. So, in the Christian religion, it's all talk about the blood of the Lamb. Jesus is the Lamb of God. He shed his blood on the cross to save us and to cleanse us of our sins. Okay, well, I got issues with that right there. In that, then why does every religion make you get baptized to wash you of your original sin? I thought Jesus was supposed to fix that. But anyway, but in the demonology and Christian realm, there are some similarities. Why must you sacrifice anything in order to get grace from God, from the universe? Now, you might want to sacrifice something for yourself. And you say, well, like earlier, that cigarette, it took me an hour and a half to light, and I really want another one, and it's been over an hour. So, but I'm sacrificing not smoking. That's my personal sacrifice. I'm not going to eat the rest of that pie. I'm not gonna go drinking out with the guys or the girls or the gals or the whoever's the others. Um, I'm not going to, commit a mortal sin. I'm not going to, think bad thoughts. I'm going to try to be a nice person, right? And my sacrifice, that's a personal sacrifice without any bloodletting. Now, for Catholics, every single mass means the transmogrification. It means that they're going to change the wine into the blood of Christ. Every single mass that's performed does this. Okay. That's the sacrament. All right. You receive the sacrament of the Eucharist, the body of Jesus, the body of Christ. So you're not only drinking his blood, you're eating his body too. In fact, there were songs: eat his body, drink his blood, and we'll sing a song of love. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. So folk mass back in the day. So you're going to eat his body and drink his blood. That is being a cannibal. I've spoke about this before, but folks say, well, yeah, but no, I'm a Catholic. No, I'm a Christian. No, I read the Bible and stuff. But yeah, but you're kind of sort of acting like them folks who are practicing demonology. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, yes, 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 yes. You need to really pay attention to those things that are similar. Why? Because the people who created Christianity took pagan beliefs. And why do you think there's an altar? Why do you think it's, like this? Why do you think there's a bunch of candles? Ooh, it's mood lighting. Why do you think it's like this? And why do it's the blood of Jesus? Why does it have to do, everything has to do with blood? And you have to sacrifice. Okay. Now, all Christians must worship. You must worship. Okay. Well, what do you think demonologists are doing? They're worshiping their demons. They're worshiping. Okay. Wait a minute, Dave. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. There's no similarities. Yeah, there are. Now, there are those folks who will beat up the Christians because of their beliefs, and they're like, well, there is no Jesus, and there is, you're gonna pray to an invisible deity. Okay, that's either one of them, right? So demonology or Christians, you're praying to a an invisible deity. Yes, you are, and you're going to worship it. Whether you've seen it or not, or believe it or not, but the Bible tells me so. So is it 20 yet? Oh, it's 25. Oh, all right. So, but anyway, there are some folks who have decided that somehow demonology is like the new religion. It's like, well, Christian religion is, we don't believe in it, and Jesus and this and that, and it's all fake. And I would absolutely agree that the churches have lied to the people for a long time. Pick a church and they've lied. That's all there is to it. They might not know it, but they've been lying for a long time, and they've been caught in their lies. History has talked about it. History has shown it. They're kind of sort of proving the point themselves. But the bottom line is that demonology seems to be the new religion of choice now. And it's like, oh, I want to attain these powers. Do you? Why? Well, the power of what? Well, if I make this sacrifice, if I kill a cat or a dog or a bunny rabbit or something, if I kill something and offer it as a sacrifice. All right, well, that's what the Jews did back in the day. I don't know, some of the Muslim faiths and some of the old traditions, they would literally sacrifice a lamb or a chicken or a goat or something like that. Well, here's the thing: if you're going to sacrifice a goat, and then everybody on Sunday is going to roast that puppy and feed a whole crew of folks, that sacrifice isn't necessarily, um, like we're just going to kill it for the sake of the sacrifice. No, they're saying, listen, we're going to kill this goat. We're going to offer it and the blood of it to the Holy Father, and we're going to cook it, and we're all going to eat this goat or pig or whatever, and we're going to feed the village or the family or whatever. And you say, well, but you sacrificed that goat. Y'all was going to eat anyway, but you said prayers over this goat versus another goat or a chicken. You know, gonna kill the old red rooster when she comes. Gonna kill the old red rooster when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain, right? But but in this sacrificing of things, have you killed something in order to gain a power? Have you killed a something specifically to attain a particular thing? Well, I sacrifice the Lamb of God. Okay, why? Well, to intercede for me so that I can go to heaven or so I can do a something or, God will notice me. See what I did here? Well, that's the God of the Old Testament. And one's got to scratch your head and go, listen, he was the God who made a deal with Satan, with the devil. Remember over Job, right? They played, literally played poker and played dice over on what they was going to do next to Job. As cruel and an unusual punishment to find out whether or not someone has enough faith. So I'm going to torture you a little bit more. You still believe in me? Yeah, holy shit. Oh yeah. Let me yeah, there you go, Chloe. Killed bad habits. But there are things that, we really like things like, man, I really like chocolate. So, in order to sacrifice to my God for whatever reason, there's a bar of chocolate that's sitting right over there that I've been wanting a piece for like the last 2 days. But my stomach's been upset. So I was like, let me lay off the chocolate. But I can see it from here, like, chocolate. But so in that though, you say, well, I'm going to hold off on the chocolate. Well, that's sort of a sacrifice rather than giving in to the chocolate. But I'm not having to kill anything. My sacrifice is of a personal value. But what's to say my not getting the chocolate, my sacrifice is any bigger or smaller than someone else's who went out and killed an elephant? God forbid, but there's an elephant in the room. So there are certain people that we will remain nameless, but who has a decent following of folk who have been discussing demonology and sacrificing things. No, no, no. You can believe in whatever you want to believe in, but the sacrificing of things, the killing of something other than to eat it, um, is like, there are those folks who want to kill something in order to achieve a certain power or to achieve a certain status or status or they want to be a dumbass is what they want to be, because in the law of stuff you don't want to go there because if you're truly on some kind of spiritual journey, um, you want to allow blood to flow unless it's your own. And even that is stupid, but I could see where there are blood ceremonies where you would take a bit of your blood and seal it, and this is how serious I am. But to take anybody else's blood or an animal or anything, vegetable, but the sacrifice, there are many, many cultures. Mexican is one of them that I'm thinking of in particular because I knew some folks um, who they made offerings. Their sacrifice was that they would get up on a Sunday morning, for example, and make this little altar, and like on the Day of the Dead, the November 1st, after Halloween, so by honoring the dead, they make these little plates of food. Here's a picture of grandma, and this is what grandma liked. And the sacrifice is these people go to all the trouble to make these little plates of food or whatever and set them up to remember grandma or grandpa or whoever, Uncle Joe, who's moving kind of slow at the junction, Petticoat Junction. But the idea that somehow, now that's to honor the dead, that's not worshiping. The sacrifice is what the little plates of food or whatever they offered them as an offering. And grandma was a saint to me, so can't I pray to Mary Raleigh instead of praying to Saint Andrew, who I never met, but I met Mary Raleigh or Roli. And I knew she was a special person. I knew she was saintly because how she treated people. And and I spoke about my grandma, and she wasn't even related to me, okay, but Granny was that special person. So how can I remember her? Well, her wedding picture's over there on the wall. That's how I honor Granny. There's another picture of her somewhere around here where she's fishing. That's how I honor Granny. And I speak about Granny. She is not forgotten. Um, and so, but to me, she was saintly. So can't I pray to my grandma and hope that she looks out, her spirit looks out over me, versus some person in a Bible somewhere or a book and who I've never met, never had any contact with. And, so would my prayers or sacrifices or um, offerings to my granny, wouldn't it mean just as much in the grand scheme of things as to pray to, some other deity that I've never met? Just saying. But I would never, ever go kill something on behalf of my granny because she wouldn't like that. So there are Christians from the Wayback Machine who sacrifice things, and the whole part of transmuting wine and water into the blood of Jesus, and the little wafer of unleavened bread, into the body of Jesus, and you eat and drink him, it just, that has not made sense for a long time. So even demonologists don't be eating parts of their demons. You know what I mean? I mean, there are certain things that you do and you don't. And, but the Catholics do it all the time, every time they say a mass. So, but there are no similarities, Dave. Yeah, but there are. And we just gotta dadgum admit it. All right. Oh, I can't believe it's like, yeah, but it is. So do you want to participate in the cannibalism? Now you can go and if you want to worship Jesus, okie doke, but there's a way to go and have prayer where you don't have to participate in those types of things as a Christian. And you shouldn't be made to do it. Oh, well, you didn't receive the Eucharist. Yeah, well, I just don't feel like eating Jesus today. Sorry. I'm just I've had a belly of it about up to here. I just don't want to eat Jesus today, and I'm just not in the mood for any blood drinking. Oh no, but it's part of the Catholic faith. Yeah, I know, but I'm sorry. I'm still going to come to church. I'm still going to pray. I'm still going to believe in Jesus and the communion of saints, the forgiveness of sins, and life everlasting. Amen. That's part of the Nicene Creed, by the way. The Apostles' Creed. So, but the idea that somehow I don't have to partake of this other ritual, all right? Now, if you were a demonologist, you would be participating in certain types of rituals that might actually contain blood, okay? It would depend on the type of ritual or whatever that you were doing, okay? But in the Christian Catholic, they're changing this now. It's not actually blood, but they're trying to. The transmogrification means that they're they're changing its properties into the blood of Jesus. We're going to make believe it's blood. Well, but if you had real blood, would you drink it? Well, wait a minute now. Well, that's where I draw the line. But we can make believe you're drinking it all you want to, and that's acceptable, right? Because it must be acceptable because look at all the millions of Catholics. Okay. Wait a minute, Dave. Hang on. Let's wait a minute. Now, I'm not trying to talk down about the religions. But I'm just trying to point out the similarities. And you got to go, wait a minute. So, but in the sacrificing of things, there are folks that, and first we have to ask the question, why? Hawkeye, what do you mean? Well, why do you want to do this thing? Whatever it is. Well, I want to go pray to the Mother Mary. Okay, great. But why? Well, I've got a sick aunt and I want to ask for her, Mother Mary to look out. And okay, valid point. So to the demonologist, okay, so what do you want? Well, I want to pray to Beelzebub. Okay, why? Well, I want something. Okay. And but why Beelzebub? Well, I think he can get it for me. Okay. Well, why do you think he can get it for you? Well, Hawkeye, why do you keep asking me these why questions? Because you should be asking why. Do you want this? I'm not saying that you don't have a valid point. I'm saying that you should ask the question, why do you want this? Especially if you're going to go sacrifice something and it ain't a bar of chocolate. So you decide, make these decisions to do what? To participate. Well, so I want to pray to this demon. Why? Well, to give me a special power. Well, what power is that? Well, it's the power to have influence over other people. Well, there are some, you can go to the library and get books on how to work with other people. Hell, I can give you some tips and pointers myself on how to, influence other people and how to work with them and how to, but you got to consult a demon. And so, but why? Well, because I think this demon is going to help you do what? Well, because I want to be more powerful. I want to be more. Why do you want to be more powerful? Well, I want to have more influence over people. Why do you want to have? Well, I want to take control because I'm a power hungry asshole, dumbass. Whoa, okay. They're okay. Now that I see your personality, I see where that's going. So, but the requirements require you to kill something. Literally stab, kill, slice, dice something during the um, ceremony so that you can have this power. So you're going to take the life of another living creature. Now, one could say that you could slice a head of lettuce and that has as much feeling as a walking, talking, well, verbal anyway, uh, critter, but you don't hear necessarily a head of lettuce scream when you chop it up. But I'm sure in some circles, it's just screaming its little lettuce head off. Don't chop me up, please. I don't like tomatoes. Oh, I don't, cucumbers make me burp. Yeah, but anyway. So, but in this demonology thing that people seem to be using as a new religion, and it's like, well, I don't believe in Jesus. I don't believe in that. Okay. I don't believe in the Bible. Oh, okie doke. So, but they can't believe in this invisible deity. How can you believe in a God that doesn't exist? Well, how can you believe in a demon that obviously doesn't exist? Well, but you say it does, and yeah, well, well, angels don't. Okay, but the demons don't. Okay, but so the demonology folks are going to sacrifice. They're going to worship an unseen deity. Oh, well, ain't that what Christians do? Now, I'm looking at this from the demonologist point of view. Okay. Well, the Christians, they can't be because they're worshiping an invisible God. Well, ain't you doing the same thing? Ain't, aren't you doing the same thing? No, but our demons and the demonology and the this and Beelzebub and whatever, okie dokie, but aren't you still doing the worship to an invisible deity? Regardless of who or what he or she may be or represents, you're still worshiping an invisible deity. Christian or demonologist or Satanist, it doesn't matter. You're still doing the same thing. You're worshiping an invisible deity. All right. Now, to me, one of the things that I had to reconcile many years ago was my God is not the God of the Old Testament. The God that tortured Job is ain't the God that I quote pray to. He ain't my guy. Whoever that loving God is, no, did not torture Job. No, mm-mm. The Creator that I quote, I don't worship. I do pray. But there's no way the Creator would torture one of His own. Not like that. No. And then brag about it. And like write it down in the book. Let's talk about how, I tortured Job. And, hey, listen, you got to have the patience of Job. God tortured him and took away his wife and kids and his house and his land and everything. And just, but Job still loved God, you know, even though God was torturing the fuck out of him, he still loved him. Well, it sounds like, what is that complex you get, when you're being tortured by your captors kind of thing? Don't that sound a little, odd? No. So my belief in God does not include that guy because that person was a monkey's ass, in my opinion, who have tortured Job and then laugh about it and joke about it and write it down as an example. No, please. Um, So, but at the same time, there are demons who would torture you just as well. and you sign this contract and you go, well, you get what you want. But then the demon, Stockholm syndrome, hey, Job, how back at you? I just couldn't shut up for tonight. They wouldn't let me. So, but I've never been to Spain, but I kind of like the music. I've never been to Stockholm either. Is the word you were? Yes, absolutely. Stockholm syndrome. That's exactly right. So, we are made to fear God, where in native traditions, you're not made to fear the creator. You are made to honor the creator and to give offerings to the creator. And in some instances, there is the occasional killing thereof. But after they kill whatever animal it is, they usually eat it. Okay, so the sacrifice is not just we're going to kill this and leave it out here for the wild animals, and we're no, we're going to honor this animal's life, a goat or a lamb or whatever, and we're going to honor it, and we're going to honor it. We're going to say prayers, and then we're going to barbecue it, and we're going to share it. And the grandmas and grandpas get first choice, by the way. They don't eat much, and they usually don't have teeth, so they're not going to eat very much. But we can give them the fatty parts around the edges. But grandma gets to eat first, and then down the line. Not the strongest who butts their way to the front of the line. Hey, Mark, how are you? Yeah, double header. Yeah, yeah. They wouldn't let me shut up tonight, but there are some folks who seem to be really headed in the wrong direction with this demonology stuff. And there is a certain person who's like kind of sort of promoting it, like, oh yeah, it's okay to do this. No, it ain't. Please, Jesus, no. Whether you believe in Jesus or not, don't do it. You should not kill anything in order to achieve anything. No. Learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the blessings from the universe. There are ways to, quote, attain certain powers. And if you're that kind of person who has to kill something to make a sacrifice to attain a certain power, I again ask the question, why? Then you're not in the same circle as me and some other folks. Then you're not truly on any kind of true spiritual journey, as in the true red road. Now you might be on a spiritual journey with demons, and you can stay over there. And if that's truly what you want to do, okie doke. But if you think that everything's going to turn out right for you, you're going to be tainted. Your spirit will be tainted. And I'm just warning you, if you think it's cool and you want to go and sacrifice, and I know that there are some certain spells and whatever, and it takes several people and does things, and there are criteria, and there's bloodletting. But do you really want to go there? Honest to God. Now, what there again, I'm using the God terminology. Well, I don't believe in God. I believe in Satan or Beelzebub or whatever. Okie doke. But you're still believing in an invisible deity. That's my point. Good or bad, it's still an invisible deity. There are Christians who don't understand that by their talking about the Lamb of God and our sacrificing and worshiping, and it's all about the blood. Now, I'm talking about some Baptist here, you know, And the blood of the lamb, in the blood of the lamb. There was a song we sang during Smoke on the Mountain, and it was all about in the blood. And it was the blood of Jesus. It was the blood of, and wash away the sins in the blood of the lamb, you know, and and we'll have a little talk with Jesus. And so it's like, well, wait a minute. So, but your connection to the creator seemed like it was just focused over my head for some reason. Not that I'm so pretty, I want you to look at me. After years of abuse, I learned that if someone like God who bullied Job or that much of a bully should not be allowed to continue to be a superior to me, I would agree with you on that. Well, I see it was like, when I was in the, Catholic Church, I was abused by two priests. So for me, God allowed two of his priests who are supposed to be saintly and who are the only ones who to be able to say the prayers and to make change the blood, the wine into the blood, and change the Eucharist, and the only ones allowed to touch the damn thing. And but 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 they were allowed to abuse me and other people too. So wait a minute. So for me, my first question was, where is God in this matter? I, two Catholic priests, not at the same time, but um, emissaries of God through the Catholic Church, and they're doing this. So to me, there ain't a God, because God would have said, "No, you don't." Right? He would have stopped those priests from even being a priest, let alone being pedos. But so God would have intervened, would have interceded on my behalf. Sweet Jesus, get these men off of me. But it didn't. So it made me question, is there a God? So, but in the same question, no, these guys had the evil eye. There is that look that they get. And that look, that evil eye, it's like it's evil. It is plumb evil. How can it be attached to any Christian religion and it still be allowed to happen? You know what I mean? How can it coexist? Evil within the Catholic Church, within a Christian church. Well, there are a lot of churches who've done a lot of evil things over the years. I mean, look what, look back during the Inquisition and how they tortured people in the name of God, and what they did to the indigenous peoples who wouldn't accept the Bible, and uh, who was it, Montezuma or one of them when they came over when the Spaniards came over. He looked at the Bible and threw it down on the ground, and that started the war. The Spaniards started massacring the Mexican people, and Blackson wiped them out, killed like 10,000 in a day or so, just massacred the crap out of them with guns and swords and because he wouldn't accept this invisible God in this book. He said no, and they went to so the Spaniards tore him up. So all in the name of God. So all these savages who believe in the Creator, and so you're as close to God as just reaching up and touching the sky and accepting. that because I'm a child of the universe, I'm already a part of the creator, and we were made in the image and likeness of God. So if so, then God must be one ugly mother if he's paying attention to me. But the idea, especially the older you get to look so cranky like me, but the idea though that hang on, and even in the Bible, and I keep saying this, the last couple of chapters of Revelations, when John is um visited by an angel, and he gets down and he bows down and he's worshiping, and the angel says, no, get up, you are as I am. No, 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 stand up, brother. you know so there must be a lot of other folks that look like us, but we're not to worship. We are to adore and honor each other and act in respect, with respect to each other. And that's where it's at, sacrililiac. You know, hang on there. Wait a minute. There was no sacrifice in that. There was no bloodletting in that. It was an acceptance to a higher deity. Well, I believe that each of us are a part of the Creator because we were made in the image and likeness of God, if you believe that. So at least with our spirits, we're made with that image, not our physical outward body thingy, but our spirit. We are the soul of us is made in that image of the Creator, because the Creator's a spirit. So then, in that, I am a spirit, and when I pass away, my spirit will rejoin the Creator and all the other spirits that have come before. So I am a part of the universe. And even as I speak now, my soul and my spirit is a part of that consciousness. So I am a part of the Creator now, as we are a part. And whether we want to believe it or not, we just simply are. We are members of the League of Like Minded Beings, in that because we exist, we simply belong. We are that. So, but in the demonology realm, it's like, so you believe in the demon. Did the demon create you? Well, in the demonology thing, Lucifer or the demons didn't necessarily create you unless you're a spawn of Satan, unless you are an evil some bitch. Okay. So, but then does that mean though that you are still made by the Creator? Just be well, be if follow this one. If because you are a part of the universe, then even though you follow this other path, you are still part of the universe. Therefore, because of that, you aren't necessarily a part of the League of Like Minded Beings, but you are still part of the Creator, whether on purpose or not, because Creator gave us a free choice. So if we choose to go down this route, well, unfortunately, Creator says, I promised I wouldn't mess with you. And that probably got him in trouble. So, but with that though, so what do we believe? Do we believe in the demons? Or, the demons are going to save the planet? I mean, really, so somebody's going to worship a demon. They're going to make a sacrifice to a demon. Again, why? Well, I want to attain a certain thing. I want to kill somebody, or I want to get lots of money, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. Yeah, okay. But why? Again, I mean, but if your mind is that, I'm sorry, I got to say it. But if your mind is that twisted where that you have to kill whatever it is you got to kill to make a sacrifice that requires the letting of blood and the death of something to achieve whatever you desire to achieve or have or whatever. If you're already thinking that way, then you've already kind of sort of veered off the path. You've already like made kind of sort of a decision, because if you're on the path of righteousness, then you would never think of doing something like that. You would never say, uh, in that I have to have this power. Now, for me, there are times when I'm like, I wished I had the power to change something. I wished I had the power to think through a problem. I wished I had the power to help a person who's in need. I wished I had the power to like drag some common sense kicking and screaming into this universe. I wish I had the power, but the creator has given me this voice and YouTube. And hi, Bob. And hi, Mark. How are you? This demon crap is the new program. The kids have started putting bull rings in their noses, Baal worship. Absolutely. I agree. And but there are some folks, and I have to admit that when after being pedoed by two priests from the Catholic religion, um, you know, that I went into a and studied demonology for a while. I've talked about this before. It ain't no secret. So I have been there and done this. But as soon as found out what this there were when I started seeing the similarities of the black mass and of certain things, because I was an altar boy in the Catholic religion, I was like, holy shit, these things are like they're like it's like a playbook. But the Catholics are doing it this way, and these guys over here to do it. But the similarities, I mean, lifting of the chalice and having certain, the having certain wearing certain garments, like the priest, the amicial, chasuble, the thing. And anyway, so, and he has to put them on in a certain order, and the altar has to be laid out in a certain way. Well, it was so damn close to what the demonology folks are doing. I almost shit my drawers. I was like, no. If other Catholics knew this, they would question where the priest got this information from. So, but in order to get people to go along with it back in the old days, because there were so many pagans and so forth, the Catholic religion chose to use certain things. They followed certain rituals to get the people on board with it. So instead of Baal that they're worshiping for whatever reason, the god of gold and all that, when the Catholic Church, everything's gold. Send us your gold. Gold chalice, gold crosses, gold this, gold that. So wait, hang on. What about silver? What about clay, for example? Wait, you couldn't carve that bitch out of wood? Sell that, crucifix with all the diamonds and rubies and sapphires in it, and sell that, 10 pounds of gold that cross is made out of, and give it to the poor people for crying out loud, and carve one out of wood or granite or something, or mold one out of something. But Oh my God, the gold, anyway, gold candlesticks, holy crap. But anyway, so the Catholic churches have this worship of gold and of these things for a long time. You gotta kiss the papal ring. What, you gotta kiss the Pope's ring? It's an ancient ring, and it's a this. And why do you gotta kiss it to begin with? And wait a minute, that sounds like subjugation. Wait a minute, I gotta get down on my knees and kiss this guy's ass. Well, no, you're gonna kiss his ring, but it means about the same thing. But in demonology, you got to bend down and kiss the Satan's ring. You got to kiss the feet. You got to make these offerings, and so there are similarities in ways that Christians really don't want to make the that thing. So, but I went down from myself the witchcraft demonology because of what happened with the two priests. I didn't have a faith in God. I was like, where was God when these two priests were chasing me? So I wanted to find out if the devil was real. And I found out early on, and I'm glad I found out early on. And no, I didn't want to go that way. No, I didn't want to make any kind of sacrifice. What the hell would I conjure a demon for? What could I possibly in this world want with any kind of entity from another dimensional space to help me with in any way, shape, or form? What do you want? Why? Why do I want this demon? What's it going to help me with? To get rich? How's this demon going to help me to get rich? Well, he's going to make me want to. What it ends up being is you can get what you want, but you're going to have to lie, cheat, steal, maybe even kill for or hurt somebody. If you want what you want, then you're going to have to be, if you're conjuring a demon, it is not going to go well for somebody because you want something that's above and beyond just working hard for. You want to force the issue. You want somebody else to get hurt or moved. You want somebody else's job. So the question then, if you want to do demonology in any way, shape, or form, why? Ask that question. Why do I want to perform this ritual? I mean, if I'm doing a drum for some reason, which by the way, I want to do another drum soon. Now that I'm trying to get back and I want to help heal myself. I'm being selfish. So I want to do a healing drum. Anybody else can come, but I want to do it for myself if nobody else. And kind of I need to get back to the dance. So maybe full moon, which is coming up, here in a week or so, depending on the weather. Not that I need a full moon to do it, but that would be a nice time to do it. Would be to pick a full moon and healing and so forth, and to do a full moon ceremony. That would be nice. Anyway, but see, but that would be my purpose. Why would I want to do a full moon ceremony? Because for me, a full moon ceremony means I can use the power of the moon during a full moon to promote healing and to promote, insight and to promote well-being with folks, and to try to help ease their pain in some way or whatever. So, you know, I already know why I would want to do a particular ceremony, but there's no sacrifice involved. The sacrifice would be the energy and my time used and expended to create the drum and the ceremony for the full moon. So, the sacrifice would be mine in the doing of it, but I'm not going to go kill a critter or anything like that. Fast for a day, which is my giving up of whatever. Be careful what I eat for that day. And, you pray and meditate. So that's giving up to get ready for a full moon ceremony. So that's a sacrifice. That's a personal sacrifice, but nobody dies or, gets hurt in that other than maybe being hungry. Um, but for someone else, if there are a bunch of witches in a circle and something has to get killed in order to promote some kind of something for the ceremony. I've been to a lot of ceremonies, Native American and otherwise, and I have never seen anyone kill anything, but I have seen some phenomenal things without the killing of anything, you know. One might say that, oh, holy crap, it was the power of the collective and the power of the person, the power of the person conducting the ceremony. Now, that's one thing that I can say that over the years I have asked for. I have asked for not the power, but the ability to be able to learn and conduct a proper, whether it be a full moon ceremony or a new moon ceremony or a river ceremony or a healing ceremony or a ceremony for abundance or whatever, that I be given, through practice and learning, that I would gain the ability to be able to perform a ceremony and that it be and it work, it be profitable or whatever. Now I say profitable, a full moon ceremony can be profitable without it involving money. In other words, people get feeling better, or someone has had anger issues and they've been able to calm their anger, or they have wished for, whatever. And which is what happened in the long time ago, the last full moon ceremony that I did all them years ago now. But oh, God Almighty, it's been 13, 13, it's been 10 years since that last one. And it's about time to do another one, of whether anybody's with me or not. But, I would invite people to come, and y'all are invited, but you got to come here. But so anyway, so I understand why I would do a particular thing. So, but if someone is doing the demonology thing, then why are you doing what you want to do? What's your purpose? Now, some would say, well, Hawkeye, uh, you're doing a full moon ceremony. Um, um, and isn't that sort of self-serving or whatever? And isn't that a little egotistical? And isn't that sort of, self-serving and egotistical? Well, well, what do you mean? Well, but I want to do it because I want to help people. I want it to be a healing circle. Well, so who made you God? Well, what do you mean? Well, you want to do a healing circle. Well, isn't that like what God would do, or the creator or somebody? And who made you God? Who said, well, wait a minute now, hang on. Well, whoa, 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 whoa. I didn't say anything that I wanted to be godlike. Well, yeah, but you want to have a healing ceremony. Ain't that like asking God or the creator to come down and imbibe you with the power to heal other people? Isn't that kind of sort of self-serving there, Hawkeye? Isn't that kind of egotistical there, brother Hawkeye? Isn't that sort of okay? I get your point. Well, maybe now that you mention it, but I never looked at it that way. That it was I was being self. I always felt like, and I'm speaking on this as we speak. What time is it? Oh, we got 3 minutes, and I'm ready. But so, but I don't want to be godlike. I want to be the instrument between. I simply want to be that entity that allows that healing energy to flow. I don't want to necessarily my partnership in this is that I'm just a vessel to communicate it, right? Um well, but yeah, let's continue this argument. But yeah, but then you're still asking for special powers, ain't you there, Hawk, buddy? Well, I just transmit healing. Yeah, but that's sort of godlike, ain't it? Well, I don't know. I never really looked at it that way. I just wanted to pass out along the energy from the universe, hopefully in a positive, healing way to other entities. Um, but I never thought about that I wanted to play God. I never thought I could lay my hands on somebody and literally, cure them of a broken bone. I could pray for their well being and pray that, Katniss, how are you? Yeah, and so the ceremony is nothing more than literally just asking the creator through a drum and through prayer to be healing. It's like, well, I'm going to kill this animal to heal some people, you know, or I'm going to do a particular thing. No, it's that you ask to be the vessel to pass this healing on. Like if I come by and I touch you, and some people have said that it was like electricity, and that when I touched them, they were like, whoa, dude. And that's hopefully, if I'm doing my job correctly as this, the conductor of the ceremony, then you will feel the more of the energy from the universe that somehow I can help you to connect to the universe. And it's not um that I'm special, but that I have been led to this. Oh, it's 20. I have been led to this priesthood, if you will, so that I can try to help and be of some use to other people. This has been my calling. So if it ain't your calling, okie dokie, but don't mess with mine. you know. So the argument can be made. Hey, Mark, the argument can be made that I'm asking an invisible deity, which I call creator, to give me the strength. And I say this, give me the strength and give me the energy. And at times I say, and give me the power to conduct this ceremony correctly. And you go, well, wait a minute, you're asking for the power. Yeah, because, it takes a lot of energy. So I'm asking for power, the physical strength to endure this ceremony. Because in order to connect with the chi and the this and the up and the down, it takes a lot of energy. So Yes, give me the power, give me the strength to conduct this ceremony for the benefit of others. Now, if there ain't nobody else around, well, that does make it a little easier. But the one time that the one I'm thinking of, there were 20 people there, and so and each person had to be dealt with individually. So if there's 5 people there, well, it's a lot easier. If there's 10 people there, well, you double up, and if there's 20 people there, then it's going to take a while. And some of these people didn't really want to participate correctly anyway. So, but they were very selfish. But so the prayer of it, I'm asking to be an emissary on the behalf of the Creator. An emissary. Well, I don't like the word priest, okay? And I don't like the idea of, this, but here's the thing. I simply want to be the emissary because you don't know how to do it, or maybe you do. All right. If I have, it's like, for example, Joe knows how to, he helped to teach me how to do the ceremony. So Joe knows how to do the ceremony because he taught me certain elements of it. And during that time, but even though he knows how to do it, has performed the ceremony himself, he still wants to be an active participant. So, because he knows how to do it, it helps him to become a better participant to make the entire ceremony a better ceremony because now he knows how to connect to the Creator. He knows how to share it with other folks, even though uh, he's not the person in charge of the ceremony. He's just a participant. So the more people who know more about the ceremony, the more intimate the ceremony becomes, and the more powerful the ceremony becomes. So when each person understands that they could perform the same ceremony, and it's just that Hawkeye's turn to be the camp counselor, for example, or the leader in prayer, then next time it's Joe, and I'm thinking of this other Joe, but here's an interesting observation. Were we or were we made in the perfect image of God? Supposedly. Subsequently, does God have the ability to fall from grace? I think the God in the Bible does, but I don't think the Creator can. Because if you understand the bigger picture, then what I described earlier on about an hour ago was that, because Creator gave man a free choice, people they can worship demons if they want to. And even though that brings about an evil, it's still a part of creation. It's still a part of the Creator, even though he didn't necessarily do it on purpose. It kind of came in from I'm trying to make a Christian trap. Now that's funny. Um, so I think that the Christians who trap themselves within the Bible and the true Bible thumpers that just quote the Bible all the time and put you down and this and that, you know. And I've stated many, many, many times, and I will continue to, that I am absolutely a warrior for Christ. But I do not believe in all this poppycock that's in the Bible. I just don't, because it was written by men, all right? And so I believe in the spirit of things. I absolutely. But I don't believe in all this other stuff that, especially after 2 priests molested me. who were, you know, emissaries of God. No, that God, I'm sorry, I don't believe in. But the creator, absolutely. The great spirit, absolutely. The great spirit created God, all right, in the grand scheme of things. And God's messed up. And then so in your um subsequently, does God have the ability to fall from grace? And in that, I would say yes, because the God of the Bible screwed up, you know? And I think the creator, the great spirit, has looked down and said, you can't be doing that shit. No, 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 no. No, we don't do that. No, 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 no. You don't make people worship, you know. There shall be no other gods before me. You shall keep, the 10 commandments, what, three or four of them belong just to God, right? But if you wipe them out and if you just use the law of one, which means do no harm to anything, it covers all the rest of the commandments. So why do you need 10 commandments? Well, because God said so. You will believe in me and nobody else. There are no second opinions. You can't believe it. What I say is gospel. You got to keep holy the Lord's day. Which day is that? Whichever one's the Pope decides on. Okay. It used to be Saturday, but now it's Sundays, just by the way. But hang on. Wait, 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 wait. If you just follow the law of one, which is pretty simple, don't do any harm, and do the best you can as a human being, then you got it covered. Literally, you got it covered. Because to be a true human being in that sense, to do no harm, wow, wow, that just covers so much. And but God would not allow, now what about the creator or the great spirit? Well, I can't necessarily say that the creator allowed this to happen. Because of free will, it was allowed to happen. Um, and, it was the free will of those men who put me in those situations. Me being a young person and, you know, barely out of high school, 17 years old, and in my brain, I was still a kid. But having been molested at the age of 13 and having been sort of groomed over the years by a couple of these priests, unbeknownst to me, when the situation arose where they could literally get their hands on me, they did so. But, that turned me against Christian religion, but it did not turn me away from God. So but I could see evil in these priests' eyes. So, Christian church or not, evil still exists, even under the guise of goodness, right? So, but it's up to us to learn to discern what evil is or does or what path or, but the creator is not sitting on a throne somewhere. The great spirit is that great spirit of all of us, and all of us are part of it. So I would blame my naivete. There were folks that goes, Dave, you should have known better. And maybe so. But in Dave's brain, it was not that way. I did not understand some of these things. Well, yeah, you were 13 years old. Didn't you know about? No. Well, what about? No, I didn't know about that neither. Well, what about? Nope. Sorry, didn't know about that neither, nor. Um, well, we knew about it. Well, yeah, but I didn't. I was very vulnerable. I was really weird. I had strange dreams. I had visions. I had shit going on in my head. And, No, I didn't know about some of these things that y'all seem to have caught on right away. It took me years to figure some of this shit out. I mean, I'm being honest and literally back then. So, but the choices we make, well, because these two guys were two priests were pedophile folks, there are folks who would have liked what they did, okay, and would have might have gone along with it, but not me. Was not for me. Nope, don't want to go. Don't play that game. I don't know why you think I want to play this game. I'm having enough trouble with being socially awkward where now you what? So, yeah, I understand this being confused child, teenager thing. Went through it myself. That's why in some of these things I get a little adamant and like, make up your damn mind or. But anyway, quit playing this game. Pick something. Don't care. You can change your dress next week. Buy a new pair of slacks or something. Get your hair done. Um, but the God of the Bible stipulates certain things. Women can't do this, men shouldn't do that. Men shouldn't be pretend to be women, and women should not pretend to be men. I mean, it states that in several places there. So, there are those Christian people who want to go to a Christian church, but they just disavow those verses in the Bible, okay? Because it doesn't suit them. So wait a minute. I thought you were Christian. Ain't you supposed to follow the book? Well, no, but I'm going to follow it up to this point. Me and my husband, we don't agree with this, because we're good people and we're raising kids and all that. And it's like, okie dokie. But no offense, but you cannot call yourself a true Christian because the book says you can't do this. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with you. I'm saying look at the book, look at what the God of this book says. You can't be doing this, but yet you are. But then you still want to be accepted as a Christian when you're already breaking like one of the big rules here. I'm not trying to point fingers because I don't like the whole book myself, but you want to be the Christian. You want to be the homosexual couple that wants to be a Christian in a Christian church. And to me, it seems like there are people who are taking a marker in and going, wait. When you come to this, we're just going to mark this part out. You know, we're going to highlight it and skip over it, because we're a gay couple and we're Christian. But that's like an oxymoron. You can't be. No offense to the people involved, but you broke the rule. I didn't make the rule. Don't say that the rule is a just one. You're the one who wants to be the Christian. And that's the Bible that you're supposed to be studying. Yes or no? So in some ways, because folks are rearranging or ignoring certain things, they're kind of being like the demonology folks in their picking and choosing what they can or can't believe. The big book says, well, we can do this and we're going to do part of that. And you go, wait a minute, now you're saying I'm a demonologist? No, I'm saying that you're following certain patterns that these folk are doing. There are certain patterns. There are certain, God, I don't want to use the word lifestyle, but there's certain patterns. I'll just leave it at that. So, boys and girls and others, have we learned anything today? Hopefully so. In that, in the grand scheme of the universe, there are lots of things we can make personal sacrifices, because those are the things that we give up in order to achieve a higher realm of thinking. That cigarette that's sitting over there that I'm going to probably light here in a few minutes. But the fact that we make these conscious decisions to say, well, I'm not going to smoke a cigarette, or I'm not going to drink another beer, or I'm not going to have that piece of chocolate, simply because that's my small offering to the universe. Okay. Whereas if you want to, kind of, want to, if you rich and you could donate money to a church or an organization or to a person or something like that, then by all means do so. Christians believe that it's impossible for God to fall from grace. Well, the God that tortured Job was not in grace, in my humble opinion. He was a faker, but that's my humble opinion. Maybe from a light perspective, talking with great spirit, with love, and asking for help with grace is the other side of the coin. That's the way I believe, Mark. And just asking, because there's energy in the universe and there's evil out there too, but to me, there's more light than darkness. But when you look out at the night sky, you might disagree. Um, but as far as lightheartedness within people, it's those folks who try to promote the evil, that darkness clouds the light and doubt gets in people's minds. And it's like, wait a minute, you have to bow down and worship on the day that I tell you, and under the commandments that I tell you. Because if you don't, God's going to smite you down like he did to Job. Now that's just, you have to worship for the wrong reasons. You're worshiping out of fear, when in my humble opinion, you shouldn't have to worship to begin with. There's a whore on a ship, and it's warship, you know. Um, and so give thanks to with every breath we take. Give thanks. Don't have to worship, because every breath I take, I'm breathing in and out cosmic energy. I'm bringing in and the manna from the universe, and manna spoke about in the Bible too. But you know, the manna from heaven is the breath that we breathe, and as we breathe it in, we're breathing in the Great Spirit in a lot of ways, right? We're bringing atoms and the energy, and we're so we're a part of the universe. We're breathing it in and out every time we breathe. And so it's like, how can you not understand that we're a part of this? So if you're around good people, then you breathe in and out the goodness that you're around. When you're around, I'll just say, questionable people, then you breathe in and out that questionable energy, and some of it is just damn shown up pure evil, or bad and wicked, mean and nasty. But there are some people that to be in their presence is either one way or another. You just, you want to just go around and hug everybody, or you just want to run in terror. I'm thinking of a particular person about that run in terror business. But so, and the creator has given us free choice. And people say, well, no, it doesn't. Well, yeah, you can do any damn thing you want to. But the question is whether or not you should. And you say, well, I can't. Well, okay. But should you do that? Okay. Should you act that way? And back during my earlier days when I talked about how I was, I did not realize how I was coming across to other people. And they thought I was being mean and that I was mad all the time. And no, because there was a tone in my voice and it was how my eyes and how I interacted. And I've talked about this, but the fact that I learned to put that in check because that's not actually how I wanted to be. That's not actually how I was, but some for some reason I was coming across that way. So when I changed it and became aware of it, modified my own behavior and it affected everybody. And we all became friends and they gave me going away parties and all that kind of stuff, which is all true. So I absolutely believe in this, in that, it's your own actions. And, I was praying to the Great Spirit to give me guidance. And the guidance I got was in the form of, of White Dove, who used to come and sit in my truck with me. Believe it that one or not, but I do. And she taught me so much. But the belief that by your change of speech and your tone and your mannerisms, then you too can learn to influence people without having to go to any demons, without having to go through any sacrifices or ceremonies. You simply have to learn and be willing to learn and be willing to look at your own self and say, wait a minute, I need to make these changes. And with the help of the universe, I will stick to it. I will see it. I will understand it. I will allow myself to accept and receive these situations and learn from them and learn how to not get angry or to learn how to stay calm in a tense situation, how to learn how to keep my voice calm when my insides are going ah, um, but you learn the technique. But I don't have to worship anybody. I don't have to create any, I don't have to kill anything. I don't have to do any ceremonies. But you too can learn how to influence people in a positive way or a negative way. And I was already affecting these people in a negative way, and I didn't want that. So I changed. But so the fact that now I did pray about it, but I just said, give me the strength, G- show me where I'm making my mistakes, help me to correct my mistakes, and the courage, to make those changes. And it worked greater than I ever could have imagined. So, and I have used it over the years myself in certain circumstances, but only to try to enrich other people and try to be open or help a situation out. Like with theater, to help direct folks, to help do whatever, to make the show a better show, just whatever, um, to make it, out there kind of thing. So, but to want to achieve a certain thing in order to, I want to control these people. Well, I guess, and to be honest, I wanted to control these people too. I wanted to keep them from getting mad at each other and arguing and complaining and pointing the finger at each other and going, "It's your fault," when actually no, it's part your fault too. Well, wait a minute, and be the arbitrator. And, to be the arbitrator without getting mad at either side, when there's a lot of times where I agreed with this person over here, but we, couldn't do that. I had to see both sides and be the arbitrator. You got to learn how to be the camp counselor. And so with that, wonderfully said in that respect, you know, that's from the universe. That's through the listening. Now, I had the help of White Dove during that time period. I requested, got from the universe, accept and receive, you know. So when a critique comes along and you know, she used to go, David, Hawkeye, you can't do that. But they pissed me off and they, you can't do that now, you know. And I would sit there and I, it wasn't necessarily that she put me to shame, but it was like, didn't I teach? Didn't you listen to me at all yesterday? Yeah, but no, but did you listen to me yesterday? Well, yes, ma'am. I think I did. No, you didn't. You didn't listen to me at all. And that I would, it would like put me to shame. I would go, oh man, you know, well, what did you say yesterday? Well, let's go back over this, you know. Oh God Almighty. Oh, I was supposed to have, yeah, and you did it anyway, didn't you? Yeah. Well, you have to be able to take your own critique. In other words, you screwed up, dude. It's sort of like the grace of God. Did God fall out of grace when he picked on Job? Yeah, I think so. Uh, you know, why did he make the Jews run around the desert for 40 years? You know, well, because they were a bunch of dumbasses and didn't have a compass, you know. How big is that place? You know, how many of them were there? Come on. How far is Egypt from there? In 40, you probably could have done it in 40 days, you know. But anyway, um, what did your eyes go bad for? Hey, DL. But anyway, so in the sacrificing of things, in my humble opinion, and as my shaman journey has continuously pointed out, and with learning from the other elders, no, sacrificing anything, you know, other than some chocolate or something that you might want to give up, this idea that you must bloodlet for any reason. And Christians who continuously bring up this, the blood of the lamb, stop it already with this blood thing. You know, you'd think that they were vampires the way they keep bringing up. And I'm talking about some Baptists I've known, but you know, it's the blood of Jesus. You okay? And it's the blood of the Lamb. All right, I get it. We got it. Now stop it already. But it's the blood of Jesus. Okay, you. It's almost like you wanting to be up on that cross, and you're down at the bottom of the cross with a pan collecting the blood, you know, so that you can like mark yourself with it. You can make the sign of the cross. Uh, Taking down at the cross and stop with this blood thing. Quit singing songs about the blood. Quit singing songs about, you know, the sacrifice of the lamb and the blood of Jesus and the okey dokey. Would you cut it out? The focus is on the blood. That's the Christians. So, you know, the demonologists, folks, they ain't too far off. So the Christians are like, nah, we don't have anything in common. Oh, really? Is that really true? Well, in the studying and over the many years that I've been around and so forth, and it doesn't take a whole lot of study, but you know, how many songs have the blood of Jesus in them, and from the Christian point of view, and how many demonology Satan folks are all about, you know, the blood sacrifices. So don't tell me there aren't any similarities because you're all talking about blood again. Oh, for different reasons. It doesn't matter. Y'all are talking about the blood, okay? Which is a sacred entity. It is this sacredness, it is that life force. So, what you choose to do with it, and after that doesn't matter. You're still focusing on the life force, you're still focusing on the blood. Oh, but but Jesus and God, yeah, okay, but again, I say, if the God of the Bible who tortured Job is the guy that you're doing the bloodletting for, are you sure you got the right guy? Are you sure you got the right guy? Are you sure that this blood of the lamb is the right guy? Is that God really the guy, girl, gal, entity, or whatever, but you wish to be worshiping to? Just asking, just asking. Whereas those of us who, like even the Buddha, you don't eat certain things, you don't kill cows, you don't do these other things, and you live, a clean life, and so that your spirit is clean. And, and that you, guess what? Do no harm, and the worship thereof doesn't involve the sacrifices of the self, not of other things, and that in the life it is of giving of the self. That's part of the sacrifice. Let me help you. This, I'm going to sacrifice my time or my energy, or God might give you money or food or whatever, or help. Um, but that's my sacrifice to the universe to help you. And it's not necessarily, quote, a sacrifice, but I am giving up something. I'm giving up my time or my energy or whatever. And I don't have to. Okay. So, but if I willingly do this and, to help someone, you know, um, then, you know, but the Bible didn't tell me to, well, maybe, and the Bible tells me so. Little kid, but here below. Da, 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 da. Anyway, all these weird songs running through my head again. Uh, this level is too much. I want a mulligan on this one. um, in my case, I was praying, paying attention. I was listening, but usually I just ignored the advice. I did the same thing, Joe, for years and years and years. And then when Mother Mary came back to me and said, okay, I told you I was going to come back and you were supposed to do so. And here I am now. So, but not everybody, has the chores that I do. And I accepted them. There are times when it's very inconvenient. But at the same time, it's like, but I understand the importance of having this conversation. And whether there are 6 or 60 people who watch this video, if it's one person that is saved from all this, because they're like, wait a minute, um, you know, maybe I really don't want to do the demonology thing. Maybe I don't really I don't want to be a Christian um, of that Old Testament group. Now, I am a warrior for Christ. I will say it again and again. But I am not this Christian who believes in this Bible stuff. And no, because it's one commandment to do no harm. And, everything else is just immaterial bullshit, and all the churches and all the worshiping and all this other stuff is simply the church's way of controlling the masses. Okay. The great spirit, the energy, God is all around us. All we have to do is reach out and accept it. We don't have to go do anything special. Now, to do a ceremony like a full moon ceremony, for example, is to bring in the energy of the full moon and of the energy of the universe around you. It's not actually asking any particular entities to, although I have asked that any entities who, good entities who wish to participate may do so. But it's not about asking an entity to come and help you with the ceremony. You ask the energy of the moon and of the universe to help lighten and to give energy and strength through the ceremony. And the ceremonies is in thanks to the universe for the moon and for the energy that it gives and the light that it gives. In gratitude and in thanks, not in worship or in servitude, not to bow down, but to look up and to say thank you. So with that's there, it's just so much different. Where in church, what do they say? Bow your heads, bow down. Why? I always looked up and was like, why do you want me to look down for? There's nothing down there. Bow down. You can't look at the eyes of God. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. What about the angel in Revelation that comes twice to John and who says, stand up, stop bowing, stand up because you are as I am? And wait a minute. So hang on. Whoa. But you're telling me we gotta bow our heads. But the angel said to stand up and to lift your head. So which is it? Well, those who want to control you want you to worship with your head down. For those of us who wish to give gratitude to the universe, you lift your head up to the universe. You don't bow your head down because then you're going to run into shit. You're going to bump into stuff. You're not going to be able to see what's going on with your head down. So in the universe, to achieve the light, then you look up. You don't bow your head in worship. You lift your head in elation and in gratitude to the universe to accept the light upon your face and into your being. A lot of difference. So, is there a lot of similarities between, certain issues within Christianity? Absolutely. And I do not mean that those Christians are practicing some sort of demonology, but they are praying to invisible. They are praying to invisible entities or deities, and that's true for both. For whatever your purpose is, the facts are similar. You're praying to invisible entities to achieve something, to get something, help, understanding, money, whatever you're praying for, regardless of it's Christian or the other, you're still performing a similar thing. You're praying to an invisible entity. So how do you know which one you're getting? Well, I'm praying to Saint Joseph. I'm picking on Joe a lot tonight. I boldly looked straight at God, the source's face, and found it to be my own. And I was puzzled and amazed. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one, Joe. But we also have to, at the same time, recognize that who we are, our face is that of, because, if we look at our face, if we look at ourselves, then we should look not just at our face, but into our soul. And our soul is our face kind of representation at the moment. But when you look deeper into the eyes and you look into the soul of yourself and you see the God there and you go, wait a minute, man, I just ain't acting right or something's gone wrong. If you're really honest with yourself, then you say, wait, how do I fix this? So then you ask the universe, um, You ask the universe, say, okay, how can you guide me in this particular instance? So my video previously, before this one, when I was discussing, sometimes you have to just curl up in a ball and just kind of go, go through it. You have to just let that virus get out of your system. um, but so you have to be honest with yourself and be able to take, I say, the punishment. That's um, the punishment is being brutally honest, and you have to put up with that honesty. And in being honest, it might be painful, and it might be that you got to backtrack, or it might be that you have to go make apologies to someone. It might be that you should make some kind of attrition. I mean, you may have severely mucked up. I have too many times. I don't want to count them. You know, I just want to make sure I don't want to mess up in the future. I'm going to try really hard not to mess up in the future. You know, and that's the best I can do. What's past is past, and but all I can do is hope that I make the right decisions in the future, and that you know I continue to ask for guidance and energy and so forth. And but I want to be the messenger that I think I was asked to be, and in that being of the messenger, I want to pass along light and energy. Listen, just reach out and touch the universe. That's it. You don't need to go to no stinking church. You don't have to go drum, or you don't have to go do all these other things in order to achieve it. It's right there all the time. Now the drumming and the prayers and the sage and that's just extra. That's to the universe to go, I know I can reach out and touch you anytime, but this is to really say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is my reverence to the universe. The grace that I get from the universe, I want to give back in the form of a ceremony to say thank you. I'm going to burn some sage, and I'm going to sing songs to the universe and say thank you. And I'm going to give thanks to all of the things that I have been given over the years. The stumbling blocks that I have stubbed my toe, broke my toe a couple of times. It still kind of broke, my left toe on my left foot. And it's on the second toe of my left foot, a stem and flower, but there's no root because it would have looked good. Never mind. Um, But so, for me, the being guided by the spirit is like every day is different. I didn't know that Tuesday I was going to be, you know, balled up and doubled over and sick for 2 or 3 days with a stomach virus. Had not a clue that was fixing to happen. Um, Duggar's agitated by something. Big difference between sincere reverence and utter subservience. Yes. You see, Christians feel that they have to bow down. They have been told to bow down, otherwise God's going to get you. The wrath of God. Well, wait a minute. Creator would just the wrath of the creator would be your own stupidity. You know, your own karma is the wrath of God. But don't be, to me, the wrath of God is somebody else. Um, I just, that's how I feel about that particular subject. But in talking with a friend of mine, we were talking about tornadoes down here in the South, and I said, And it is true. I've had two tornadoes since I've lived here go over the house and destroy my neighbor's barn twice. Not, and they rebuilt the barn the second time, and then during Michael, that tornado went over and tore that barn down. So it's been the new one is still there. This is the third barn. But so by the grace of God, it went over the top of my house. Could hear it roar, and you do not mistake that noise. So did God save me, or is it the fact that I'm living here at the bottom of the house? I mean, the house is at the bottom of the hill. Was it by the grace of God? I don't know. I think it's a combination of all of the above. But I know one thing: I'm damn grateful. But did God literally come down here and put his hand and say, nah, go over Dave's house? I can't answer that. I don't know. Maybe, maybe, and I'm not going to say no, but maybe. There's a little protective, I don't know. I just know I'm very grateful. I wish somebody would come along and fix this leak in my roof, though. But anyway, uh, when one says anything about the wrath of God, I'm like, what is God throwing a tantrum about now? Very good, Joe. I would agree with you on that one. And is it really that, so in my understanding of things is like, with Hindu and other, they've got different levels of gods. This one's a lower god, just like in demons, there are lesser demons and higher demons, right? So there's archangels and there's little cherub angels, and you know, there's us, crazy folks down here on the planet trying to do the best we can. Our shirts are dirty and our feet are dusty, but anyway, um, we haven't earned our wings yet, as Clarence. Ding a ling, every time you hear a bell, another angel gets his wings, right? But so, you know, the God of the Old Testament and what we're discussing here, in the realm of the Creator and of the Great Spirit, that doesn't exist. If the tornado skipped over my house, that was a lucky thing because I am sitting at the bottom of the hill. And, the way the tornadoes have a chance, they hop and skip across, they always, the hill up there is a higher low, so it went over this valley, hit some low places back at me and my neighbor's yard, and it bounced across and then hit the top of the hill up there. And the barn just so happens to be where it hit. But so there's natural geography that absolutely played a big part in it skipping over the top of my house twice. Not the same tornado, but similar situations. During hurricanes. But anyway, I was thinking one was Kate and one was Michael. KM, never mind. Over 30-year difference. But so, but I've been lucky in some other ways over the years to where, I have, and the answer has come back that, yeah, there may be some angel, looking out after me, and especially since I've cleaned up my act. Um, um, some things haven't been lucky, but at least I was like warned of the situation. And even though I had to, get my feet wet or be uncomfortable or whatever it might be, that at least I was made aware of it. Whether or not I actually got help from the universe, the universe helps supply me with information. I can absolutely attest to that. So, if nothing else, and maybe that's part of my being Hawkeye, but it's 1:12 a.m. it says. Is that right? Yeah, 1:12 a.m. So in a couple of minutes it's going to be at 20, and I filled this bowl. I started early tonight, didn't I? And today. But absolutely, Christianity is filled with fear. And I would say that there are parts of the demonology Satan thing that is feared too. It's like, you better fear that some bitch. You know, you cross him, or her or it, you're going to get the smuck mushed out of you, you better not go trying to cross a demon or whatever. And if they tell you if you're supposed to do something and you don't do it, and the end result might be that you're dead. Now there might not be the same kind of ending with Christians or Christianity in that respect. Although there are some Christians who've done some dumbass mistakes who have gotten them in trouble. Like, oh, I can go, there's a tribe of headhunters and we're going to go teach them about Jesus. Well, when they come out with, a size 4, headband instead of a size 7, then, that might not have been a good idea. Hey, Diane, how are you? A big hug back at you. So yeah, there are, my God, the God of the Bible is not the one that I be praying to, y'all. I it just and I would hope that the the Creator, the Great Spirit, is above and beyond the wrath of God kind of God, a truly loving, caring Creator that we are. We all make mistakes. So can Creator make mistakes? Well, I don't know about that. But I think that there are people that Creator made who can make mistakes. So did Creator make the mistake? Or, Creator gave us free will to make the mistakes. So did Creator make the mistakes? Or create the situations that we could, wait a minute, did Creator make the demons so we would have the choices as to whether or not to follow the good or the light of the darkness? You know, did Creator do that on purpose to give us a choice? Think about that one, heavy duty, right? So, but is in that respect then, because the Creator allowed darkness to be there, then therefore is the Creator got a dark side? Think about it. We all have, it's the story of the two wolves, the white wolf and the black wolf, and the two are fighting. And which one wins, grandfather? The one that you feed. So these two wolves are fighting in each of us. Which one do we allow to become the strong one within us? The one we feed. Do we feed the white wolf or the black wolf? Sometimes we feed a little bit of both. And so that puts us in the gray category. It's like Gandalf the Gray. He had done some, questionable things. So he was in the gray zone. And but then when he made that transition, he turned into Gandalf the White, right? And was with all the light and the this and the that, and had these different kind of sort of powers and understandings. If you follow the Gandalf thing a little bit at all, in the Two Towers, where he's having arguments, and then in the Return of the King, the third book, or third, or actually it was the fourth movie, third movie. So, for example, when could a light being end up doing something dark? Had a dog got hit by a car, didn't kill it, maimed it really bad. You want to take it to the vet, but you know it's going to cost thousands of dollars. The dog probably won't survive because how severely injured. And so, what do you do? For the sake of the dog, you kill it. You put the dog down, or the cat, or the animal, or whatever. You put the animal down. All right. Common practice. They shoot horses, don't they? That was a movie with Jane Fonda. And I can't remember who the guy was. But anyway, it's an obscure movie from back in the day, early 70s. It was after she did, uh, Jane Fonda did Barbarella, which is just a dumbass movie. But anyway, um, so you say, well, wait a minute, I don't have the right to take the life of an animal. I can't kill another animal, but it's suffering. That got a kid. No, can't let it suffer. Well, but humans suffer. We don't go around and killing humans. Well, back in the day, there was a Western was watching. I was watching. Me and the dog were watching it. I say we. Um, but watching this movie, and the guy was all bad and burnt and everything, and so he says, "Give me a gun," and he says, "No, shoot me." He says, "Shoot me, kill me." And the guy's like, "No, he won't kill him," but he hands him a gun, right? And so he turns his back, and a few seconds later, you hear bang, and the guy that was suffering puts a bullet, kills himself. Well, he was burnt and everything. The Indians had tied him to over a fire, and he was anyway. So, but um, so he wouldn't commit the act of killing this man who obviously was in great pain and was not about to live through what they had put him through. And if he did, oh, what a horrible thing it would be. But the fact that he gave him a gun so he could shoot, the guy could end his own life. It's 120. So happy 20, everybody. Hey, Mossy Man, back at you. Speaking of throwing a fit, remember when Moses called a bear on some kids for making fun of him? Come on, man. A real man would have come back, would have a comeback remark. React. Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes you wonder, is how some of these folks were connected, and whether he had the wherewithal um, to part the Red Sea. Okay, one could say that. Wait a minute, what demon did he call upon in order to do that? You know, well, it's the God of Jerusalem. It's the God of okay, but one could scratch your head and go, but was it really God? Did God really do that? Because if you think about what other people think of God, part of the universe. Now, I would believe this more, okay, that all of the Israelite folks stood on the bank and Moses said, okay, everybody, You got to think positive about this shit. With these guys are chasing us. The Egyptians are going to kill us all. We've got to put our heads together and make a path through the ocean. And they all said, Moses, you're full of shit. And he goes, you want to live or do you want to die? And they were all like, well, Moses, I don't know. So put your heads together. We're going to use our psychic energy and we're going to push the waters back and we're going to run like hell. Y'all got this? This is the plan. And they're like, oh, God Almighty. And Moses said, exactly. So, but they all got together and said, okay, Moses, we're all thinking. And then the water started going, yee! And Moses said, run. And they ran like hell. And, the water was like coming around and they're going, woo, might get wet, holy crap. Run like hell. And then we got to the other side. They all just went, phew. And the water came back in and drowned all the Egyptians or the Egyptians. I don't know. Um, Egyptians, Egyptians. Never mind. Uh, no. But so, but I would believe that more than like God coming down and going, "Nyeh." It makes just as much sense because they all got together and thought about this. We're gonna get clobbered. And God, you better help us out here. And God said, okay, well, you all think about it. Use your psychic energy that I gave you and part the waters your damn self. I ain't got time for this foolishness. I don't care if the Egyptians catch up with you or not. It's your own damn fault. You should have never screwed with them people. What do I have to do with this mess? I mean, think of it from God's point of view. He's got something else going on another part of the galaxy, and you want him to come down here and part the Red Sea, just because Moses asked. Okay, it's the God of the Israelites, and but he's the same one that tortured Job. Just reminding you. He's the one that torched Sodom and Gomorrah. Just remember. And so all these people who are doing these tranny things nowadays, you know, he torched Sodom and Gomorrah. Pay attention. He torched Sodom and Gomorrah. Pay attention. Okay? And he torched Sodom and Gomorrah. All right. Well, what does that mean? Well, if this is going on in a city near you, he torched Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm just reminding you, you Christians out there, he torched Sodom. So, but anyway, but the energy of the universe. So, if that's your God that you believe in, which I just like, eh, I would rather believe in the Creator. I would rather believe in the Great Spirit. I would rather believe in the great collective, you know, versus this God of mayhem and chaos who makes deals with the devil over Job and his misery and his suffering. That just um, see if it was my God in the same situation where the devil's like, you know what? I'll tell you what, God. Um, yeah, I'm considering going to bed too. It's been 2 hours and it's almost 1:30. Um, but it was just one of those things where it's like, we want you to talk about this now before it gets out of my head. But here's the thing. So here's the devil and God, having this chit chat. So God says, this is my version of it. God says to the devil, go ahead. You go ahead and tempt my man Job. And I have faith in that no matter what you throw at him and tempt him with, he's gonna, so but this part about suffering and killing and taking away everything, no, it's like, let me I'm gonna I'm gonna wave gold in front of you. And Job says, no, don't want it. I'm gonna wave women in front of you. And Job says, nope, don't want them. And God's standing over there going, see, I told you my man was cool, you know. And so the devil tempts him with so many things. And God's standing over there going, see, I told you my man was good, you know. No matter what you tempted him with, sort of like the 40 days and nights in the desert with Jesus, right? So tempted Job, and Job said no. But to make Job suffer and still believe in God, well, I would kind of question that. I think after losing my wife and kids, and and I'd be like, fuck this. I'm sorry, that just came out. But maybe in so many words, it'd be like, nah, what the hell? You want me to believe in your sorry ass? No, I don't know about this. Now with any hardships that I've had over the years, I still believe in the Creator and the Great Spirit, but I don't believe the Creator and the Great Spirit was directly responsible for some of the mishaps I've had in my life. It just stuff happens, and I've had more curveballs in my life and more than my share, or my share, but maybe I'm supposed to, have curveballs from some other people too, as part of my life's journey. But whatever it is, I don't blame God. I don't blame the Creator. I sometimes scratch my head and go, what the hell is going on here in this universe? But okie dokie. So, like with recent things with my back, so to speak, but I'm still here, I'm still alive, and I'm, by the grace of God, I'm still breathing. And so, I'm very grateful for those kind of simple things. And I'm grateful for all of you and for having these discussions and for y'all being crazy enough to listen to my ass, at least in having an opinion about this stuff. But people want to make God too complicated. And my job, as Mother Mary had said to me, years ago, and she keeps reiterating this, is that no, God is available all the time. The Creator is always there at our disposal. Um, but it's how we view this God and how we view the energy of the universe. And when we accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the blessings from the universe, they come in many ways. They come in teachings from the books we read, or the people that we meet, or the things that we see even on the internet. We learn things. The universe teaches us things, especially when we pay attention and we allow ourselves to be open about things. Doesn't mean we have to accept all things. We we can understand why a man killed his dog when we find out that this dog was run over by a truck and his back was broken and crushed. And we can understand why the man shot his dog. But we don't understand why a man would tie up his dogs and have him fight other dogs to the death, or get angry at a dog because it didn't behave the way he wanted and he killed the dog out of spite, which happens. So, to which person does the energy go? The person who is compassionate towards killing the dog in an instance, or to the person who kills the dog out of spite because he is superior to the dog? He can do what he wants, and the dog is his property, and he is the master. Bang! So I shoot you. You're in my way. You're a disappointment. You're whatever. So, in that, which God is available. So, the God of mercy, I would say, in that, if I get run over by a truck, please shoot me. If I'm in that bad a shape, and I'm saying to the universe, then take me. Don't allow me to continue to be suffered. Go ahead and just take me on then, if you will. Not necessarily shoot me, but, um, don't allow me to continue to suffer. But so with that, so the God of the universe hopefully will be merciful in those situations. But which is the good God? Is just demonology? Is this God of the Bible? Is he actually maybe a demigod or a semi-god, or maybe a demigod could be a demon god? Hmm. Um, People pray to this guy person all the time, and what benefits do we get out of this? Now, with Jesus, now I'm talking about the God of the Old Testament. Now, Jesus comes along and says, "Come sit with the Father, and we're going to do these things, and drop what you got, and and come with me." But then he gets crucified, and and bleeds all over the place because he's still bleeding to this day because they won't take him down off the cross, you know. So in a lot of ways, it's like take the man down off the cross after all these years. Quit talking about the bleeding and the blood. For Christ's sake, stop it. Literally. For his sake, stop this mess. Okay. Yes, he died. Yes, the blood. Yep, yep, no. Okay, cut it out. Quit being gory mongering people and get on with it. Quit eating his body. Quit doing that. Talk about the miracles. Talk about feeding people. Talk about walking with peace and brotherly love. Talk about that. Talk about spreading goodwill. Talk about healing people, even with our good thoughts. When we send prayers and we do prayer circles and healings for folks. Y'all have done it for me, and I thank you, and I do it for other people, and without consideration of whether or not anybody's going to thank me, I would just do it, right? So um, we, as the collective, are God without being masterful, without being egotistical. We're going by what the rules are. We were made in the image and likeness of God. So therefore, if we tap into the universe, then says we're already made that way in the image and likeness thereof, then we're a part of the God conspiracy, if you will. So if we as a collective use it to heal or to, mend or whatever, um, to create peace among each other, then we're being godlike, right? So, and if we're using the energy and the power from the universe, which is the power of God, of the Creator, of the Great Spirit, then therefore we are using that energy power to be God's. So, but you do the same thing if you're going to be doing the demonology thing, but you're asking a different energy to come and do whatever it is that you think you want done. So what's your choice? Which road you're going to go down? Do you want to be the person who brings energy and light and healing to other people? Or are you the person that wants to bring up, but wait, there are things that you can gain by wanting to help other people. You can gain knowledge and wisdom and understanding. You might even gain the respect of other people who might lend you a hand or or whatever in life. So that you can attain things by simply by doing good deeds, simply by your actions and other people observing them. Whereas if you wanted to be an influential person within your community, and you went and killed a goat and did some kind of sacrifice and some kind of ceremony to ask a demon to give you power in your community, that would be like forcing the issue. When you could attain the respect of the community by your good deeds, and that you could command their respect without having to call on any demons. So the power of the universe is all around. It's how you choose to call upon it, or how you choose to, like, call upon a demon to help you to get it. Or you could pray to Saint Anthony and to help you with something. Or or everybody's talking to Archangel Michael these days. Okie dokie. I think he's busy, but just saying. Um, when we do good deeds, our good deeds are noticed, and even if it isn't noticed by other people, it's being noticed by the universe. Okay, because we draw energy from the universe to do our good deeds. And to the person that you do the good deed to, they're grateful and thankful, and that goes back into the universe. So it's a continuous loop. When you do this, you do something good for somebody, they smile, they're grateful, that gratefulness and everything, they say thank you, the thank yous go back into the universe, and it's recycled to go back around again. Ain't it wonderful? But when folks are killing things and doing things and trying to step on other people's toes to get what they want and what they want to achieve, what they feel that they need and have to have, the power of the universe is somehow must be bestowed upon them, when through love and hard work and charitable deeds, that you can gain the respect. And wait a minute, hang on. So you can get the same thing without having to go through all that other bullshit? Yeah. But some folks are in a hurry, and some people are are ooh, demonology, nice shiny new toy over here, and you can manifest what you want by saying these spells and doing sigils, and we can do a collective energy thing, and we can draw the energy of Beelzebub to get what we want. And oh well, damn, I say if you feel like you have to do that, good luck. I personally am going to pray that you don't do it. I am personally going to pray, whoever you are out there, who you think that you have to go this route to get what you need or want or whatever, I'm going to pray against the way you're going to do it. I'm going to hope that you get, but I'm going to pray against how you're going to do it. If you're going to ask for a demon to help you out, I'm going to pray that that don't happen for you. But I will pray that you will find the right answer, and that the creator and that the universe will show you the light, that you can still get there without having to go this route. I will pray that that will happen for you. But I don't want anything ill to happen, because if you call upon some of these demons and entities and so forth, they may not just affect you, but they will affect other people around you, loved ones and other folks. Do you want that? Well, if I get what I want, well, you butthole, you dumbass, you asshole, you know, You're willing to sacrifice your friends, relatives, and neighbors to get what you want, because you think you deserve it. And so, if it hurts a bunch of other people, or so that you call upon a demon to help you to get what you want, and this demon hurts all these other people around you, we bargain on that too. What goes around comes around. And but you're going to wish that on people that you know, or even that you don't know. Really? Seriously? So think about what you may be doing or not doing. And I would absolutely ask the question, why? Always ask the question, why? Why are you doing this? Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to be rich and famous? Why do you want to, be this way? Why do you feel that you deserve this? Why? Ask that question and all kinds of different levels. And then the hardest thing of all is to be honest with yourself. Brutally, brutally honest. And ask for guidance from the universe. Don't pray to a demon, just ask for guidance. That's all. And but you got to be honest, because it's like, well, I want to be powerful. Yeah, but can you be nice about it, or do you have to take this hard road? You're going to cheat some people, or you're going to cheat somebody out of a deal, or you're going to buy something, for $5 when you know it's worth 50, and but you're going to go sell it for 100. And there are people who do things like that, when in the reality they just say, well, there's a piece of there's an antique, a piece of antique china ware or something, and I've seen it done, and the person says, well, it's just an old bowl. And they look at the bottom and go, holy crap, this is a piece of, ancient china. Yeah, it's been in the family for a bunch of years. Holy Jesus, this little teapot right here is probably worth $1,000. And you give the person 10. And you go, well, that's just smart business. No, smart business would be, you go, you know what? You see that little teapot right there? Yeah. It's been in the family for a long time. Yeah. I'll give you $200 for it. What? Instead of 10 or 5 or $20 or something. So to be honest with you and say, well, I think I can get more for this, but right now I'll take the chance. I'll buy it from you right now for $200. And then if I can sell it for more, that'll be my profit. $200. Oh, I thought you was going to give me 5 or 10 or maybe $20. $200. The person would be, that would be the right thing in the universe to do. As far as, sure, you're going to make money off the deal, but then there's being honest. And then there's the guy who says, um, some want power. I want to drink with a friend. That's right. The simple things are just as important to me. Me too. Like having a bowl with you before I say goodnight. It's 1:45 a.m. and I've got cotton mouth. I forgot to take my meds earlier, but I got to take them. Um, and I got cotton mouth. My meds dry my mouth out. Plus, I want to hit this bowl again. But I hope that some of this, these people who think that demonology or somehow doing spells is cool and stuff like that, be damn careful. It's a fad. It's a group. It's a cult. It's a religion. So you don't want to be a Christian, but you want to join this other religion. What? Yeah. Well, you're demonology. You're gonna, quit being a Christian, or you don't want to be this, or you don't think that God exists, but you're gonna pray to a bunch of demons. You're gonna join another religion. Yes, you are. Well, I'm just gonna cast a spell. You're gonna join another religion. Sorry, that's what you're doing. There are prayers for healing within the Christian church and the Catholic church. There are prayers for this and there are prayers for that. What do you think, spells are? Going to go to the church and light a candle. Okay, that's one of the first things you do to cast a spell. You light a candle and and you start uttering the words of the incantation. I mean, it's the same thing. They're so similar, you know. But Christians don't know that. I think there might be some demonology folks that don't know the similarities, but anybody who's been in both would recognize, oh my God, they're not the same because, one's praying for evil thingies and the other one's hopefully praying for the good thingies. So the path is not the same, but there's so many similarities and you're achieving whatever that goal is. You're praying to invisible deities for help in this realm. Hmm. Regardless of which one you choose, that's what you're doing. And are you sure you're getting the good one when you're praying? I'm just asking. So, 2 hours and 30 minutes. I love you all very much. Joe, Mossy Man, it's always good to hang out with you all. Michelle, and whoever else might be still out there listening. I love you all. I don't want this to freak you out, but there are folks who are making decisions now um, about this kind of stuff, and quit fretting about it. But when you understand how close the universe is, that we're breathing in the manna of the universe every time we take a breath, just hang in there. Hunker down when you need to, right, Deborah? Sometimes we just need to hunker down and let it go. But anyway, so I continue to pray that each and every day, that each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many blessings in the universe. And yeah, there are some curveballs that get thrown our way. And the lessons is how we deal with them. But I continue to pray that each and every day, that each and every one of you will continue to learn how to deal with them curveballs and will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many blessings that are out there in the universe. So, thank you for considering some of the stuff that I've talked about this morning, last night, today. It was a double header for me. Yeah. And so, um, before you get all hung up on one or the other, just stop and fold your arms and go, hmm, let me just think about this a minute. Let me not jump to any conclusions. Let me just, hmm, think about this for a moment. So, thank you for considering. Thank you for your time. And may blessings and peace come to you and your family and relatives and all that you may know. And I want you to please be safe. Cheers, everybody. And even when it seemed like the world is crapping on you, crap turns into fertilizer. So, until next time, please be safe. I'm not demanding it, and I am asking that the universe help to keep you safe. So, not praying to anybody, but, you know, please be safe and cheers. Till next time.